Hey, it's me. I have something I want to ask you. Hi, Beatrix. How can I help you? Where do high school dropouts go to learn things like common sense? Huh? Sorry, I don't follow. There's more you learn about in high school than just book smarts, you know? Like common sense and also common sense. So, I was wondering, where does a pitiful high school dropout who never had these experiences go to learn about them? Um, what? What are you trying to say to me exactly? You contacted me out of the blue and this is what you're asking me? What's the deal anyway? Just as I would have expected from a high school dropout. You're being totally illogical here. Can't you tell that I'm upset with you even now? Good grief. What's life like in the world of a simpleton, I wonder? How did I upset you? Ugh. Trying to have a conversation with the dropout is such a pain. I never realized how tough your brother had it all these years. Huh? I'm so confused. Alright, fine. Let me spell it out for you, since you're not going to figure it out on your own, it seems. Your brother and I announced our engagement a week ago, right? Yes, I know that. I was there. And afterwards, we had a big party at the house to celebrate it. And everyone is really looking forward to the wedding ceremony at the end of the month. We're all really happy for you both. Yes. I was also very happy that you guys are being so supportive of our relationship. And I have to admit, you've all made me feel very welcome. Like a part of the family. And your parents gave us that set of crystal wine glasses as a wedding present, which I'm very thankful for. Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm happy you're happy. I'm sure there will be lots of reasons for you guys to celebrate in the near future as well. So I hope you'll get a lot of use out of them. Excuse me? Are you really in a position to say you're welcome when you haven't given us anything? Where does a high school dropout get off acting so arrogant, huh? You think you're better than everyone else or something, even though you never graduated? What? Where is this coming from? Oh, please. Don't pretend like you don't know. You haven't given us a wedding present yet. Your parents were kind enough to give us those crystal wine glasses, but I have yet to receive a single thing from you, my future sister-in-law. That's what this is about? Really? I suppose you think it's okay for you not to give us a wedding present because your parents have already done all the work. But come on now. We're supposed to be family from here on. How are we supposed to get along like this? I wouldn't want us to get off on the wrong foot due to your social faux pas. Beatrix? I think you're misunderstanding something here. The wedding present we gave you the other day was from all of us. Me, Mom, and Dad. You're kidding, right? You really expect me to believe that? Nothing less from the high school dropout, I guess. I knew you might have a few screws loose, but I didn't think it would be this bad. Now I'm really worried about what having you as a sister-in-law is going to be like. Listen, Beatrix. Can I say something? You've been acting really strange during this entire conversation. Saying that I don't have common sense and mocking me for dropping out of school. Don't you think you're being really rude to me right now? Like you said, we're going to be in-laws soon. Don't you want to get along with me? Right back at you! I can't believe that you'd skimp out on your own brother's wedding present like that. Just shocking behavior, honestly. Don't you think you're the one being really rude? Or maybe I owe you an apology. Being a high school dropout, I guess you just don't know the rules of society. You probably can't tell common sense from utter madness, so it's only natural that you'd make this kind of faux pas. You think so? Don't worry, Melissa. I'm a really kind, forgiving person. If you just say you're sorry and that you didn't know any better because you're a high school dropout, I'm willing to forgive you. After all, I graduated summa cum laude from Harvard University. Being understanding and forgiving of those of lesser standing is on brand for me. I don't believe what I'm hearing. Okay, how's this? Just take it as a learning experience. Now, thanks to me, you know about how to properly celebrate your brother's wedding. Once you've learned some common sense and thought about it, come and apologize to me. If you do that, I'll accept that you had no ill intent behind your poor conduct and forgive you. Like I said, I'm a really nice person. Does that sound alright to you? You can't be serious about this. Anyway, I must be off. I'm a busy woman. Things to do, you know. Have a good day. Hey, sis. Do you have a minute to talk? Yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything. What's up? Something on your mind? Yeah. I hate to have to ask this, but I was wondering, did you and Beatrix have a falling out or something? She's been really passive-aggressive recently, asking me what you're doing all the time and if I've heard anything from you. Maybe I'm reading too much into things, but I don't know. I just get a weird vibe from it. Oh, really? That's odd. I have no idea. I'll be honest, it's starting to get really annoying. If she has something on her mind, I wish she would just come out and say it. I have no clue what's going on or what she wants me to do. I told her as much too. I told her if she has something to say to you, she should say it directly. But she's stubborn about these kinds of things, you know? Are you sure you have no idea what could be going on here? She hasn't said anything weird to you? Anything at all? Let me think about it. I mean, I haven't really interacted that much with her, so it's hard to come up with anything that sticks out. I don't really know her that well, after all. Are you sure? This behavior is really out of character for her. If you guys haven't interacted at all, then this really shouldn't be happening. You must be able to think of something. Well, now that you mention it, I guess there is something. Oh, but it's so insignificant. I can't imagine she'd be getting so riled up over such a little thing. Are you sure you're not imagining things? I don't know. Maybe I am. But just in case, can you tell me what you have in mind? If you guys aren't getting along, then I feel like I have to mediate. As Beatrix's fiancé, and as your brother, I want to keep the peace between you two. And anyway, the wedding is so close now. If I don't sort out whatever is going on here, then our day of celebration is going to end up being super awkward, right? I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But I'm still kind of hesitant to tell you about what I have in mind. It's a little weird to mention. Oh, come on. Why are you being so reluctant? Nothing is ever going to get done about this if we don't talk it out. All right, I have an idea. I'll stop by your workplace on my way home from work this evening. And then we can talk face-to-face about whatever's going on. Is that okay? Well, if you insist. I do insist. Please, I need your help. Hey, Beatrix. Sorry to bother you on your big day, but one of the staff told me I'm not on the guest list. Do you know what's going on? When I asked about it, they said they were following your instructions, but that can't be right, can it? Can you let me know if this is some sort of mistake? Nope, no mistake here. It's just as you were told. I instructed them to take your name off the guest list. So there's no way you'll be able to get into the venue. Please go home. There is no place for you here. What? You're kidding me, right? Well, this is my big day, you know. As they say, your wedding should be the happiest day of your life. So I don't want riffraff who lack common sense attending. I know you're just a high school dropout, but I'm sure that even you can understand where I'm coming from. As a woman. I don't want my special day to be ruined by the likes of you. Huh? Now, wait just a minute. Just what am I supposed to have done to you? Why are you saying these things about me? Oh, I see. So high school dropouts also have terrible memories, huh? I guess that's why you weren't able to pass your classes. What's that? Well, I guess when compared to a multilingual Harvard University graduate with a 4.0 GPA summa cum laude like me, you'd be inferior no matter what. But I have to admit, this is even worse than I expected. What exactly are you trying to say, Beatrix? Stop running your mouth and tell me what your problem is straight. I wonder, how can you act so arrogantly despite being a high school dropout with memory problems? Maybe you just have no self-awareness? Don't you know? I've been waiting this entire time for your apology. But even though I've waited this long, you've failed to do or say anything of the sort, haven't you? Huh? Apology? What apology? So that's why I decided to have your name removed from the guest list. And by the way, you still haven't given us the wedding present, even though today was your last chance. I thought you might hand something in with an apology at the last moment, but nope. Nothing. Zip. Just how unreasonable can you possibly be? Don't you know that a wedding present is required for you to attend the ceremony? That's just common sense. But I guess it's on me for expecting common sense out of a high school dropout, huh? Then again, even elementary schoolers know you bring a wedding present to a wedding. What are you talking about, Beatrix? I gave you a wedding present the other day, remember? The crystal glasses. Don't you remember? I've already given you a wedding present. That was a gift from your parents, not from you. Good grief. You shouldn't rely on your mom and dad so much. This is a transparent attempt to pass off their gift as also being from you without you actually having to do anything. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Acting like this towards your new sister. But then again, you are a high school dropout. Excuse me? You better watch what you're saying. I'm getting pretty tired of this. I warned you, didn't I? But you chose not to heed any of my warnings. I gave you every chance to do the right thing. But then again, I guess you didn't even have the self-awareness to realize you'd done something wrong in the first place. Beatrix, seriously, cut it out already! I've been holding my anger back this whole time, but I'm at my limit. Don't you know there are things in this world that you should and shouldn't say? You're the one who needs to cut it out. If you want to attend this wedding, you'll need to bring a wedding present. Not to mention apologize to me in person for your senseless behavior. I will do no such thing. I have nothing to apologize for. I see. So on top of your lack of common sense and poor memory, you're stubborn as a mule as well. Jeez. So this is what happens when you drop out of high school. Your poor parents. Well, I didn't want things to have to come to this, but you leave me no choice. You forced my hand. If you're really going to insist on behaving so badly on my wedding day, then you should just go home. There's no space here for people without dignity or class. Fine. If that's how you feel, I'll be off then. Wait, what? Are you serious? What's the problem? You told me to go home, so I'm going home. Are you happy now? Huh? Are you sure that's really okay? This is your brother's wedding ceremony we're talking about. You can't just go home like that. What do you mean? You told me to go home. Why are you protesting? Well, even a high school dropout like you should cave at this point and agree to bring a wedding present and apologize. That's common sense. You don't even know that much? Were you born yesterday? You think I give a damn? I'm going home. I have no dignity or class after all. Are you nuts? Just let me say one thing. I promise you, you'll definitely regret treating me like this. I don't care what school you went to or where you graduated. Here's one thing they don't teach you in school. If you think you can mess with someone, you're gonna find out what happens next. Melissa, are you there? It's an emergency. I can't find Oliver anywhere. Do you have any idea where he could be? The ceremony is starting soon. He was in the dressing room until just a moment ago. But he just suddenly disappeared, and now I can't find him anymore. And he's not responding to any of my messages. I asked the staff if they'd seen him, and they told me that today's ceremony is canceled. What's going on? Your parents don't seem to have any idea what's happening either. You don't think he got cold feet or something, do you? Do you know where he is right now, Melissa? This is Oliver. Huh? Oliver! Just relax and handle the proceedings regarding the wedding cancellation. Hold on a minute. What exactly is going on here? Why are you using Melissa's phone? Are you with her right now? Yeah, she's sitting right next to me, in fact. I got a message from her saying she'd been sent home from the venue. So, as you can imagine, I went after her to see if everything was okay. And I just now caught up with her. I don't understand. What's going on? Why would you leave the venue to go chasing after Melissa, of all people, at a time like this? The ceremony is about to start, you know. You need to be here. Right now. You don't have time to be running around after your stupid sister. Just sort it out later. Weren't you listening? The wedding ceremony is canceled. We're calling the whole thing off. Huh? What do you mean? Like the staff already told you, the ceremony is canceled. I've decided not to marry you after all. Sorry for the last-minute decision, I guess. What are you talking about? That's impossible. You can't do that. Have you gone crazy? Don't say such mad things. You want to cancel the ceremony on the day of? And you don't want to marry me either? But why? That's so unreasonable. You're the one who's unreasonable. I can't believe you would try to have my sister thrown out of the wedding. I wanted to believe in you. I did. But this is over the line. Why would I marry someone who treats my family like that? Do you have no common sense at all? What is that supposed to mean? I am a Harvard University graduate. How could I possibly be lacking in common sense? I saw the messages you sent to Melissa. All of them. How could you say those things to my sister? Huh? You saw those? That's exactly why I'm so disappointed in you. Going on and on about how she dropped out of school and how you wanted a wedding present from her. I can't believe you. Wait, she tattled to you about everything? That little moron. Crying to her brother about me. Talk about manipulative. She's trying to turn you against me. No, I was the one who forced her to tell me everything. I was wondering what the hell was going on because you kept asking and asking if I'd heard anything from her. So I pressed Melissa for information. And she told me the truth, very reluctantly. It was like pulling teeth. You've been so cruel to her, making such a big deal out of her dropping out of school. So what if I did? I was just telling the truth. Was I supposed to lie to her and say, good job? And anyway, not giving a wedding present is just plain rude. She did give us a wedding present. She paid almost completely for the crystal glasses. Don't you remember what my parents said when they handed over the box? They said it was a present from all three of them. All three of them chose the gift and paid for it together. Now, wait just a minute. You're saying she paid for most of our present? How did she afford that? These are crystal glasses we're talking about, and she's a dropout. It's true, though, and she can't afford it. Melissa makes more than I do, and for that matter, more than you, too. Huh? That's impossible. Well, I'm guessing the glasses cost about $500 for the set, so it's only a fraction of her monthly salary. She makes about $9,000 a month these days. But still, $500 is pretty expensive for a wedding present. I think she's been more than generous. Huh? Did you really say $9,000 a month? Did you accidentally add an extra zero there or what? How can she make that much when she never even finished school? That's insane. I graduated from Harvard University and I don't even make half of that. Don't try and tell me she's a CEO or something like that. She's a livestock appraiser. A what now? Her job is to determine the value of various farm animals. Wait a minute, what? You're telling me a stupid podunk farming job like that has a salary of $9,000 a month? Then that means she makes more than $100,000 a year. Oh, you don't know about livestock appraisal? I thought you graduated from Harvard University. There are only a few experts in such a narrow field, so her services are in high demand. I have no idea where she found out about this career path, but one day she suddenly turned around and said she wanted to be a livestock appraiser. Then she dropped out of school and started self-studying like mad. Eventually, she got into a specialty school and received her qualification. Huh? What kind of school is that? She makes more than enough to live on by working for just a few days a week. And she can earn even more whenever she goes to work overseas. When she was in high school, she decided she wanted a life where she could have plenty of free time to do whatever she wanted. And then she pursued that path and made it a reality. She's a special person, really. Wait a minute. What is going on? Let me get this straight. That high school dropout, Melissa, earns more money than I do because of some weirdo farming job. You sure are slow to process new information, considering you graduated summa cum laude. Now I'm even more disappointed in you. What's that? Anyway, all you need to understand is that the wedding is off. That's what's important. Well, I'm going to drive Melissa back home for now. I'll come back to the venue later to sort things out, so until then, just deal with the cancellation procedure. What is going on, Melissa? The wedding is actually off? Like, Oliver is really not going to take me back? Yeah, exactly. How many times do you have to be told? All's well that ends well, I say. How dare you? Not happy with breaking apart a relationship, you're going to gloat about it too? I told you, didn't I? I told you you'd regret treating me so badly. I told you you'd find out what happens if you try to mess with people. I wasn't kidding, you know. Are you trying to say that this is my fault? No way! You tricked me! If you'd already handed over a wedding present, then why didn't you just say so? If I knew what was going on, then things wouldn't have ended up like this. I wouldn't have taken your name off the guest list. I did tell you. Multiple times, actually. Well, then you should have given me a better explanation, obviously. You should have told me that you'd paid for most of the wedding present yourself. Sorry about that. I guess it's because I'm a high school dropout with no common sense or dignity. I didn't know that I needed to spell it out for you. Forgive my ignorant dropout behavior. Don't you dare make fun of me. Oh, I'm not making fun of you. Unlike you, who graduated summa cum laude from Harvard University, I never finished school, so I don't know any better. But as long as I apologize, you'll forgive me, right? After all, being understanding and forgiving of those of lesser standing is on brand for you, isn't it? Oh, screw you! You can't treat me like this. It's all your fault that things got this messed up in the first place. You ruined everything. Thanks to you, Oliver is furious at me. My friends are gossiping about me. My parents won't even speak to me. And all that planning I did to make sure my big day would be absolutely perfect has completely and totally gone to waste. How are you going to make this up to me, huh? What do you mean, make it up to you? You mean, like, say, convincing my brother to give you another chance and go ahead with the marriage? Well, I suppose I could ask him about it. But I don't know. I don't think he's interested, to be honest. He basically hates your guts now. I will never, ever forgive you for this. You ruined my relationship. You ruined my wedding day, and you ruined my reputation. And you caused me public humiliation, having to cancel my wedding on the day it was supposed to happen. I'll sue you for doing this to me. You won't get away with doing this to me. Mark my words. You'll sue me? How's that going to work? Did you know that I have to pay for the ceremony in its entirety? And you're the reason that it ended up getting canceled in the first place. So you need to repay me for my financial losses. I lost all of this money because of you and your deception, after all. Fix the situation. Yeah, right. You think that's a realistic expectation? And what about the damage done to my reputation? Because of this same-day wedding cancellation thing, my reputation as a summa cum laude graduate of Harvard University has gone completely out the window. Now I'll be known all over town as the woman whose husband ditched her on the day of their wedding. What are you going to do to fix my broken reputation, huh? Take some responsibility. No offense, lady. But did you really graduate from Harvard? Huh? Excuse me? I mean, you really think you can see me over all this stuff? Come on, use that degree. Unlike me, you finished high school and university, but despite your esteemed education, you're still spewing this garbage? It sounds like you wasted your tuition money, honestly. I can't believe you just said that to me. How dare you look down on me? You're just a high school dropout. You're a chicken farmer or whatever. I don't care how much you earn every month. You'll always be beneath me thanks to your lack of education and your stupid low-class job. Don't think that you can get away with acting like this just because you have a decent salary. Acting like what? I don't really care if people look down on me for not going to high school or university. My educational background might not be the best, but there's more to a person than what school they went to. And besides, I'm living a good life. It might not be what someone else would have chosen, but it's my life, and I'm very happy. And hey, at least I've never had my fiancé cancel our wedding on the day it was supposed to happen. You can be sure of that. There you go again, making fun of me. You listen here. I graduated summa cum laude from Harvard University. That means I'm smarter than everyone else, okay? I don't need to listen to you, or Oliver, or anyone. Don't you dare look down on me, damn it. I'll never, ever forgive you. After that, Beatrix continued to kick up a fuss about having to pay for the wedding ceremony in full. She was making quite a scene about it until my brother stepped in and asked her what good her fancy degree and reputation were if she couldn't even pay for the cancellation fees. He told her that making a big fuss wasn't going to fix the situation, and she was just wasting everyone's time, including her own. That shut her up. She puffed out her chest and made the payment in full. Talk about easily manipulated. Even now, she's still spewing that crap about how she's better than everyone else because she went to a good university. It seems she's convinced that she can't ever do anything wrong because she got a good education. She's even saying that it's her fault things ended up like this for trying to marry a man related to a high school dropout. Well, she was right about one thing, I guess. But it seems that she was upset about how she perceived her friends and parents had been treating her since the wedding disaster, and she gradually stopped showing her face around town. She still refuses to change her ways. If things go on like this, then eventually only her educational background will remain. And she'll end up turning into a person who has nothing going for them but a fancy degree. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more content. Hi, Tammy. Do you have a second to chat? I just have some quick things that I wanted to confirm with you about the barbecue tomorrow. Is now a good time? Oh, Lori. Sorry, but it's already after work hours. I know. I really am so sorry to be texting you like this after you have already gone home. Well, it's okay. I'm not really busy right now and have some time to text if you just have a couple things you need cleared up. What is it that you wanted to talk to me about? Thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's about the company barbecue tomorrow. It seems that there are going to be more people than we originally expected. And the VP wanted me to tell you that he would like you to help out with the event tomorrow. Oh man, what? Are you serious? I wasn't even planning on going in the first place. Man, I really wish that my dad just told me he wanted me to help directly. I don't see why he needed to go through you. I know, I'm sorry to be the one telling you all of this. But there is still space in the car, so you won't have to worry about getting there yourself. He told me that he would like you to help out with setting up once we arrive. as well as assisting with cleanup once it's all over. Oh man, this really bites. I bet that he went through you because he knew that if he were to ask me to do it himself, that I would just tell him no. He knows that he can't say no to me when I put my foot down with him. So I guess he went so far as to drag you in, thinking that I couldn't say no to an old bag like you. Well, I'm sorry that you got roped into all of this. That may have something to do with it, yes. After all, like you said, I'm quite a few years older than you. I imagine he wants your help exactly because you're so young and bursting with energy. And also probably because the event has turned rather large, with most of the company planning on showing up, apparently. Yeah, I know. I just wish that he didn't have to pick such an isolated place way up in the mountains. I mean, all of the regular staff are going to have to be bussed all of the way out there. And it has been arranged for all of the upper management to have chauffeurs take them there. It's really just such a pain for a company barbecue. I mean, geez. Whose stupid plan was this whole thing anyways? Honestly, what were they thinking? Oh, well, I believe the one who planned everything was your father. Ugh, classic dad. He would be the kind of person to plan something as ridiculous as this. But I can't do this all by myself. Please, you have to come along and help me with everything. Oh dear, Tammy. I'm sorry, but I still have not decided whether or not I'm actually going to go to this thing at all. I know my name is still on the guest list, but if you really think you will need the help, then I suppose I can go. Just for you. Well, Lori, are you really serious about all of this? You know, for some reason, I get the feeling that I can't really trust you on this. Oh my. Do you really mean that? Did I do something that makes you not trust me? Well, it's just that even at work, I notice that most of the day you're not working at your desk. And that even though you're older than me, you're still working here as a temp, aren't you? I'm just saying that if you don't try and take your work a little more seriously, that you might be fired. I mean, if the temp agency hears about the way that you have been working, then who knows what other place might hire you after this. Oh, a temp, huh? Well, my job actually involves going around all of the different divisions in the company and checking up on them. So that is probably why you don't see me sitting down at my desk very often. Oh, really now? Well, anyways, if you don't come to help me tomorrow, just know that I'll be sure and tell my dad, the VP, all about it. Okay then, Tammy, don't worry. I'll be sure to be there. Thank you for letting me slide by this time. Tammy! Really great work on the barbecue today. I think that we did an amazing job. Anyways, I'm going to start helping you with the cleaning now. By the way, where are you? I can't seem to find you anywhere. Oh, Lori! Hey there! Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm over by the lodge on the west side of the camp area collecting trash right now. Ah, okay. In that case, I'll head over there and help you clean up. Okay. It's a bit far from where we had the barbecue, so take care getting there. I'll see you in a bit. Hey, Tammy. I think I'm here, but I don't see you. Where are you right now? I walked over to the west side, but no one's over here. In fact, there really isn't any trash here for us to pick up, I don't think. Did you already finish up in this area? Oh man! You're such a sucker! I really got you! Sorry, what do you mean? I was already finished cleaning up that area when I messaged you earlier. But you just jumped up right away and said you would head over to help. But I know your type. You're the kind of person who only says what they think other people want to hear. You know, people like you really piss me off. That's why I decided to trick you into going out there, so I could leave you behind. What do you mean you're going to leave me behind? Have you really still not noticed yet, Lori? The buses have all already left. Even the cleanup crew, aka our team, is already gone. There is nobody left but you. I guess the poor old temp will just have to walk home now, won't she? I know that you're way up in the mountains, but who knows? Maybe you could try and catch someone on Uber willing to go all the way out to pick you up. But then again, given that you're not even a real employee here, just a temp, I doubt that you have the money for that. Oh, I get it now. I see what you've done. I guess that would explain why the president came looking for me and asked what I was doing way out here. Wait, hold on. Are you saying that Reggie is with you? Well, not just him. I only told him that you had called me out here, so far from where we were having our barbecue, but that it wasn't really a big deal. But it looks like he's told some of the other executives right now. Your father can't stop apologizing. He looks as white as a sheet. Wait a second. What did you say? Why would my dad be apologizing to you? Why would he even think twice about some old temp like you? I mean, that he is here apologizing for what his daughter did and saying that there was no excuse for it and how ashamed he is. I really wasn't even that upset to begin with, but here we are. Wait a second. Lori, just who are you really? Why would my dad, the VP of the whole company, feel the need to apologize to someone like you? Well, it wasn't like I was really trying to hide this fact from you or anything. But the thing is that I'm not a temp. In fact, I'm upper management around here. In fact, if I'm being even more honest, I'm one of the board members. Wait, what? You are a board member? That can't be true. I don't believe it. There's no Lori on the board. There is a Lauren, however. Lauren Myers? Pleased to meet you. It wasn't exactly a secret, but I guess it's no surprise you didn't pick up something so obvious. After all, the whole company knows that you only got this job because of your father. No wonder you thought I was just some old lady wandering from division to division. But my dad is the VP. I thought that I would be able to lord that over anyone. But now you're telling me that you're on the board? That is not fair. You're breaking the rules. What are you talking about? What do you think is supposed to be fair about you lording your father's position over your coworkers? Oh wait, my finger slipped. That's not what I meant to type. Anyway, this is all just one big misunderstanding. I promise. All the buses leaving without you was just a mistake. There was never any ill intent. I promise. Well, you don't have to worry about me. I'm getting a ride back with Reggie. I really wouldn't have minded just going in one of the shuttles. After all, everyone else at the company is so lovely to work and talk with. I mean, to be honest, I would have preferred taking the bus and getting to see more people. But oh well, I'll see you next Monday. Good morning, Lori. I'm really sorry to be bugging you this early in the morning, but I would really like to talk to you about something if you have the time. Well, if it isn't Tammy. Good morning. Neither of us should even be at the office yet, correct? Isn't it a bit early for you to be chatting with me? I know, and I really am sorry. I'm sure that you're quite busy getting ready for the day right now. But I just wanted to message you and make sure that there were no more lingering misunderstandings or hard feelings after the company barbecue last weekend. Misunderstandings? Why, whatever do you mean, Tammy? And what is with this sudden change of tone? You never used to talk to me this politely before. You're right. And I'm really, truly sorry for any trouble or misunderstandings that might have occurred between us. I'm also sorry if I said anything rude to you. I overstepped many boundaries, and I'm deeply sorry. Oh, don't worry about it. Now, what is this misunderstanding that you wanted to talk to me about? Well, it's about when the buses left without you the other day. Oh, is that right? What about it? Well, you see, the thing about that is that the person in charge of transportation that day, Gary from logistics, made an error in the head count. And so when it came to go home, he told the driver to leave without realizing that he was missing someone very, very important. So, you see, I just wanted to make it clear that last weekend, it really was just one big mistake that left you there in the mountains. I should have been more on top of ensuring that everyone got on before leaving, but I slacked on my job and entrusted Gary with all of the work. So, in a way, it was everyone's fault that you were left behind. So I think I can speak for everyone when I say I'm just so sorry that you ended up being left behind. It should have never happened. Gary from logistics, huh? But he usually handles all of the big staff events like this, doesn't he? It seems really odd that it's only this one time that he's made such a mistake. Don't you think? Yes, but that is what happened. Well, okay. If you say so, Tammy. But anyways, I'm still pretty busy getting ready this morning, so you can tell me the rest of what happened when we get to the office. Oh, but I'm not. Okay, see you at work. Tammy, are you there? I have something that we need to talk about. Both Reggie and your father are here and not leaving the building. They even missed an appointment at the planning design section. I assume it's okay if I text you on your break, right? Yes, of course it's fine. And I assume they want to talk about the barbecue. What should I even say to them? I don't know what to do. But you really don't need to worry about the barbecue at all. After all, it was me who wasn't there to get on the bus in time. I think your father is just worried because he thinks it was your fault. He keeps saying something about wanting to make you take responsibility or something like that. What? He wants me to take responsibility for last weekend? Well, I tried to tell him that it wasn't just your fault, and that you didn't even want to be involved with the barbecue anyways. I tried to tell them that there really wasn't any need to make someone take the blame for this. I told them all about how the logistics team played a part in what happened as well. But when I suggested putting some of the blame on them, your dad looked a bit embarrassed. Well, it's true that the whole thing really happened because of Gary's miscounting. Is the whole team really going to be punished for this? It sounds like it, yes. I told them that there was really no need and that this was all just a simple mistake, but... Well, you know how your dad can get. Sometimes he just really sees the world in black and white. Yeah, he has that tendency in him sometimes, for sure. Exactly. So now he is saying that even though it was an out-of-work event, he really wants to press charges for what happened to me. He is saying that it is a crime that I wasn't able to get on the bus. I guess he thinks that someone must have set me up or something. But I was just there to help. I wasn't even planning to go to the barbecue until I was called in to help the day before. That is right. I tried explaining everything to him. But then, if it really was you, then that would mean that your dad would probably also have to take some of the blame since he was the person who told you to help out in the first place. That is right. So then, you're saying that either Gary, my dad, or myself is going to be punished for what happened last weekend? I really don't think that it needs to go that far, but your dad really seems to think otherwise. Oh, I see. Right. So I just wanted to make sure we're clear about what you were telling me this morning about how it was everyone's fault and how Gary miscounted. I was just curious. Where were you when all of this was happening again? I was in the passenger seat of the shuttle van when Gary gave the go sign for the bus driver to leave. Okay, right. So then, you didn't really have a chance to communicate with Gary directly? No. My van was right next to where he was. So then I gave him a gesture. Look, the point is that what happened wasn't just Gary's fault. It wasn't anyone's fault, really. Just a case of the team as a whole dropping the ball. Wow. You know, Tammy, you're really good at trying to get out of being blamed. Excuse me? What do you mean by that? Oh, come on. Do we really have to go through this song and dance? I mean, did you or did you not send me a message calling me an old woman and telling me to walk home? It's written plain as day in this very chat. Well, it's not... Actually, I checked with Gary to follow up with your story just in case. And Gary was telling me that he made sure to do a head count and even noticed that I wasn't on the bus. But he told me that you told him that I had forgotten something at the campsite and that I would be going home on my own once I found it. Which means that what you told me about Gary slacking on the head count was a lie, wasn't it? In fact, Gary has witnesses of him doing the head count and saying that I wasn't there. What? You mean, you already looked into it yourself? Of course. And the thing is that Gary knew who I was the whole time. So when he gave the go-ahead to leave without me, he assumed I would catch a ride with Reggie and your father anyway. So when I went to ask Gary about what had happened, he apologized for the mix-up. But more than that, he seemed upset that you tried to pin the whole thing on him. I mean, I think that you really hurt him by doing that. I think that Gary really liked you. But I assumed that you never meant for him to get upset. No, that isn't it. You have got it all wrong. I wasn't trying to blame someone else for this or anything like that. Oh, that's right. It wasn't anyone's fault, right? Even though you clearly had it out for me. No, please. There's not anyone else that knows about this, right? No, no one else knows. For now. But don't get too comfortable. What you have done is going to come back to bite you. I promise you that. Just what are you planning on doing? I guess I'll have to think about it. Just hope it doesn't result in your dad finding out that he's responsible for all this in some way. I doubt he would be happy to know the truth about what really went down this weekend. Please, I'm so sorry. Just please, don't let anyone get punished for this. I mean, I've only been working here for about 6 months. I just finished my training period. I can't lose this job. That is right. You did just finish your training here, didn't you? Oh well, I suggest you think long and hard about what you've done until I decide the next course of action. Tammy, I'm so sorry to bother you on your lunch break. Do you have a moment to speak? Why you? This is my lunch break. This should be a safe place. Okay then, I guess I can cut to the chase and only tell you what you need to know. That is to say, the outcome of your little barbecue stunt. Don't tell me that I have been fired for that. No, nothing like that, don't worry. Besides, if you were fired for that, people might say that you were fired because I hate you, and that wouldn't be a good look. We don't want to give room for any rumors to grow. And what's more, I don't think you should be fired for what happened at an event that took place outside of work hours. But what I wanted to tell you was that I showed your dad some of the exchanges that we've had lately on here. And at first he was so upset that he wanted to have you fired. What? You showed my dad our messages? Even all the way back to the day of the barbecue? Well, all I did was hand him my phone and asked him to read the message. I don't know how far back he actually read. But he was pestering me so much about seeing them that I really had no other choice. But my dad hasn't even said anything to me about last weekend. Just what did you two talk about? Well, it appears that he really took issue with the way that you talked to me in those chats. Calling me an old woman. I don't think he liked that one bit. He told me that he had babied you long enough and it was time for you to be an adult and take care of yourself from now on. What? You can't be serious. Is that supposed to be my punishment for what I did? That, and he is planning on transferring you to a different division inside the company. You do know where the company records room is, don't you? You mean that dank office way down in the basement? I heard that it's almost like a ghost town down there. You can't really be sending me down there, can you? That is right. You're being moved into the records room. I hear that you're going to get your official placement handed to you on the 1st of next month. But this is a good thing. At least you didn't get fired, right? But everyone knows that that office is where they send employees who've got in trouble or made some huge mistakes. I hear it's where they send the people who can't do their jobs well but aren't bad enough to be fired. Is my dad really going to send me down there? That is, it's almost worse than being fired. My career is going to go nowhere if I'm stuck down there. Well, think of it this way. At first, your dad wanted to cut you off and have you fired. But I stood up for you and asked that you be transferred instead of fired. Don't you see? I have given you a great opportunity to keep your job while you can look for another one. Think about it. You'll have so much time to update your resume and write your letter of resignation. And all on the company dime. So, this is all your plan to make me quit this job instead. It's either that or be trapped in the records room with a dead-end position. Not at all. I just feel so terrible if you were left without a job so soon after your dad cut you off. You might lose your apartment. But the bad news is that I have heard the manager down there is a bit of a surly guy. There have been some people who have managed to stick it out, though. But most people transferred there don't last more than 3 months. Or so I hear, anyways. But I don't really get why. After all, you don't really have any work to do. You get to go home at the same time every day with basically no overtime. And you still get paid. Oh no! I just got a text from my dad. He told me that I need to start paying my own rent. He said that he can't believe I would do something so sneaky and mean to one of my superiors at work. And he said that he hopes that I have time to think about what I've done while I'm working as a filer in the records room. I can't believe this is happening to me. Oh, wow. A filer? I suppose that means you have some work that you'll have to do after all. But someone's got to do it. Wait, I know. Maybe you could make it your personal mission to try and liven up the records room while you're down there. Of course, the manager down there probably won't take kindly to you shaking things up, but at least that way it will be a good way to challenge yourself. Do you really expect me to fight with a surly manager every day? What could I even do to try and liven up a dreary old basement like that anyways? Of course, I know that you were just saying that to mess with me anyways. But imagine if you could make some real change. Wouldn't that just prove everyone wrong about you? You could even lord it over me and the rest of the board. Who knows? If others see just how hard you work and how seriously you take your job, there might be big things in your future. Lori, was what I did really so bad that you felt I needed to be cut out of my family and be forced into a dead-end position? Don't you think that you're taking all of this a bit far? I mean, all of this is happening just because I didn't know that you were a board member. What are you talking about? You were about to leave me deep in the woods with no way to get home. Of course I think that you deserve all of this. What if I had run into a bear or something while hiking back? Who knows what could have happened to me if I wasn't so lucky as to have your father looking out for me? Well, But I never meant for any of that. Besides, I still feel like I haven't even gotten a real apology or admission of guilt from you for what you tried to do. What? You want me to admit what I did? At the very least, this whole time you have been trying to avoid taking responsibility for what you did and instead tried to lay the blame on the rest of the staff. Not to mention the fact that you have been treating me the way you have because you thought I was a temp. When you think about all of the menial tasks that you tried to push on me because of your little mistake, I think I'm more than entitled to an apology. You're right, Lori. It was wrong for me to do what I did, and I'm sorry for treating you so poorly in the time that I've known you. What happened last weekend at the company barbecue was by no means a mistake of the staff. It was something that I did to you intentionally. And for that, I'm sorry. Very good. And what else? And I'm sorry that I thought you were a temp and treated you badly for that. And I'm also sorry for any other time that I've been rude or mean to you at work. Like the fact that you thought you could push the work you didn't want to do on me just because you thought I was a temp. Even if I was, they have their own work to do and you shouldn't look down on them. Yes, you're right. That kind of behavior is never acceptable. That is right. Anyways, it won't be long now until you get the notice of your transfer. Good luck in the records room. Please, Lori. Just how much do I have to apologize before you'll cancel my transfer to the records room? If I do a good job before the notice of transfer comes out, will you talk to my dad about changing his mind? Do you really want to stay in your current position that badly? I mean, I think you really need to remember that your dad was on the verge of firing you for what you did. For all my efforts, I was only able to talk him down to demoting you down to the records room. But going so far as to convince him to change his mind about that entirely. Is that what you want me to try and do for you? Well, when you put it like that, it's just, how am I supposed to move up and advance my career here when I'm stuck down there? I think you're missing the big picture. You haven't lost your job and you're still going to be paid for your work, no matter how menial it may be. I really just think you should count your blessings and take what you have been given here. I mean, just think of how bad it would look on your resume if you had a firing on there. And especially only 6 months after starting this job. If you tried to apply to a job with that on your record, then who do you think would hire you? But if I don't go to the records room, then I'll be fired, right? That is right. But think about it. You have to pay all of your own bills from now on. Do you really want to lose your job on top of that? But I already finished my training here. I shouldn't be sent to the records room as my first post. And besides, I already bought so many expensive things on my credit card. But now I'll be stuck in the basement. You mean you spent so much assuming that you would be getting overtime pay? That is right. If I don't have that extra money coming in, then I won't be able to pay off my cards. Please, you have to do something. Please let me keep my old job. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do. Well, I'm sorry. I don't think you can convince anyone with a reason like that. But speaking of, why don't you reach out to your dad and ask him to help you out with your debt? But there is no way my dad is going to lend me any money after all of this. He just cut me off. I can see it now. He'll just tell me that I have to make my own way. Well then, I suppose you will have to return all of the expensive stuff you bought so that you can try and pay back your loans. Maybe you can try and sell some of your things to raise some money for yourself? Lori, please! We're both women. You know I can't just do that. It would be too painful. Well, I don't know about you, but I hate the idea of having debts I can't pay more than I do the idea of not having brand clothes. In fact, I try not to buy anything like that on credit if I don't have to. Hopefully, you can learn to live within your means, too. After that, Tammy went to her new position in the basement without putting up a fight. As luck would have it, the division chief, who was a bit surly when it came to Tammy at least, happened to also be her father. As expected of her, Tammy belittled her job in the records room, slacked off constantly, and always complained about not having her old job. She even went so far as to try and sneak into other divisions, offering to do some of their work to try and prove herself, all while failing to do her own job. As a result, her reputation in her division was as one of the worst employees that had ever passed through the records room. And this was all while she was unwittingly working directly under her own father, who was growing increasingly disappointed in her. Even though this new placement was a real blessing and her last chance, in the end, she was served with the notice that she was being fired. According to her dad, Tammy still has not been able to find a new full-time job and ekes out a meager existence working part-time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. Linda, thank you so much for the other day. I really appreciated it. But I have a little thing that I'd like to talk to you about. I just got back from dropping off my kids, so if you have a second to talk, that would be great. Oh, hi Sandra. I'm really sorry, but I'm actually a bit busy right now and won't have any time to talk until later this evening. Oh, what's the matter? Did something happen? No, nothing huge or important or anything like that. Just some things that I've got to take care of. Oh, come on. You know you can tell me, right? There's no need to keep secrets between us. What's the matter? It's really nothing. It's just that my older sister asked me to watch over her shop while she's out taking care of some business. So I've got to be there for the afternoon. I would love to rest for a bit, but I don't think that that's going to happen now. Oh, I see. And your sister? She runs a cafe, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah, that's right. But she told me that her husband is feeling a bit under the weather and she is going to take him to the doctor's office this afternoon. Oh my! Well, I hope everything turns out all right for your brother-in-law. But if I'm being honest, looking over a cafe in the afternoon sounds kind of fun. But I guess if you're not free, then I really can't ask what I wanted to. But then again, isn't that cafe usually pretty slow anyways? Well, not exactly. It usually slows down after the lunch rush. But I'd say that the early afternoon is usually the busiest part of the day. Ah, I see. Well, that makes sense. Also, are you getting paid for watching your sister's cafe? Please don't tell me that you're giving up your whole afternoon for free. There have been times when she has paid me before, but mostly I'm just happy to help out without taking any money. Nothing more than a free coffee or cake, that is. Well, that's a bit of a waste of time, don't you think? I mean, if you have that much time in the afternoons, then you might as well find a part-time job willing to pay you for your time. Sorry, but what makes you say that? Why does whether or not I make money interest you so much? Well, it's just that your husband really doesn't make that much money, right? So if you worked for some actual money, then maybe it would help with your expenses, is all I was thinking. Sandra, I'm really sorry. I think I'm a little lost. Why are you bringing up how much Tony makes all of a sudden? Well, if I remember correctly, Tony works in freight. Isn't that right? Yes. What about it? Well, I've just heard that jobs in that industry really don't tend to pay well. And if you two are planning on having any more kids in the future, then things are only going to get more and more expensive for you both. Don't you think it would be good to start working now so that you can save up some money for the future? You're right. It would get more expensive if the two of us decided to have more kids. But we are actually not that pressed for money as it is. And I really don't think there's any need for me to find a job given how things are. Just think about it, Linda. I mean, it's not like he is working for a big famous company like my husband. I really don't think that you have as much wiggle room as you think. You should really be more worried than you are right now. Right. I will be sure to worry more. Thank you. Sorry, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about? I have to leave pretty soon, but maybe it would be better to just get this out of the way. Don't you think? Oh, right! Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, it really is not anything that huge or anything, but it's about Vicky. You know, Jack's mom. Well, I heard that the other day, the company that her husband works for went bankrupt. Can you believe it? Whoa, what? That's horrible. I feel so bad for them. I know. It's just crazy, isn't it? I heard that they are going to have to pull Jack out of preschool and try to find a cheaper option now. But then again, I guess this is the kind of thing that can happen when only one of the parents are working. It really is a shame. I mean, could you imagine going through something like that? Right. Anyways, it really is too bad since Jack seemed to be getting along so well at this school. I know. It really is a shame. But I guess this is just the kind of risks that poor people have to live with. Don't you think? Poor people? I'm not sure if that's really the best way to talk about people in this kind of situation, but... Oh? But what makes you say that? I mean, especially now that Vicky's husband isn't working, what else could you call them? These are just economic facts. I mean, take my family, for example. I'd certainly think it's fair to say that we are in the upper class. Right. So, is this what you wanted to talk about? Were you going to try and plan some kind of going away party for Jack to make this transition easier or something? What? No, of course we aren't going to be throwing any kind of party for them. I was just calling to tell you that you've gained a new friend. A new friend? Sorry, what do you mean by that exactly? I just mean that now you have a new poor person that you can relate to, right? I mean, it's not like they are going to pull Jack out of preschool right away or anything. So maybe you two can try and be good friends in the meantime. Are you really saying what I think you're trying to say right now? Oh, Linda. Do you just play dumb or do you really not see what I'm trying to spell out for you right now? I'm saying that now Vicky's family is the same as yours now. You're both poor because her husband has no job and yours just works in freight. Are you trying to say that only poor people work in freight, or that it's only a job for poor people or something? Come on now, Linda. There's no need to get so upset over this. After all, I'm only telling the truth. We shouldn't get mad over simple facts. We're all adults here, aren't we? Oh, wow! Look at the time. I've got to go meet some pals for lunch. Good luck watching over that cafe. For free. Hey! You can't just say all this rude stuff and then run off. You owe me an explanation. Hey, Sandra. Do you have a second? I'd like to talk to you about something. Oh, Linda! Hey there. Yeah, sure. What's up? Well, I just had something that I wanted to ask you. I heard from the other moms in our group that you were planning a little get-together, but I never remember being told about it. Oh, right. Yeah, we are going to have a small gathering. By the way, would you mind telling me who it was? The person that leaked the information about that to you, that is. Leaked the information? Does it really matter who it was? And anyway, so it's true that you are having a get-together? Yes, that's right. We were all going to catch up. I think just about all the moms from the preschool will be there, really. Well, I think that you might have forgotten to mention anything about it to me. No, it's not that. It's just that you're not invited. We are all planning to meet at a hotel that's supposed to have a really amazing lunch buffet. But it's going to cost about $30 per person. So I thought that I'd save you the embarrassment of having to decline and just not invite you at all. After all, there's no way that you have the money to spend on something like that, right? You all are going to pay $30 for lunch? See? This is why I didn't bother telling you about it in the first place. I can tell just from the way you worded that message that you think that that price is expensive, don't you? I mean, do I really need any more proof of how poor you are? It's okay. You don't have to be ashamed. It's just a fact that we should be able to talk about openly. Well, not really. I just think that that would be a kind of expensive lunch for anyone, don't you think? What are you talking about? Of course it's not expensive. Not in the slightest. I think that you're just projecting your poorness on others. Okay. That's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Do you really not see at all how it's rude that you keep calling me poor? What are you talking about? I'm not calling you poor. I'm just stating the facts about someone whose main source of income comes from working in freight. It's as simple as that. I mean, you have to work a part-time job while the rest of us aren't forced to degrade themselves as such. All of our husbands are doing just fine providing for the whole family. Sandra, I don't have a part-time job. I've already explained this to you. And just what are you trying to say about my husband? That he doesn't provide enough for our family? I thought you helped out at your sister's cafe. Is that not a part-time job? And please, don't even get me started on your husband. You know about the reputation that people working in his industry have, don't you? You're right. I do help out at my sister's cafe every now and then. But I don't get paid for it. I do it because I want to help her. And just what are you saying about my husband's work? Please. You're just talking in circles now. And you know what people think about truckers, right? They need just the bare minimum knowledge of driving to get their job, and they cause a commotion and back up traffic everywhere they go. Basically, they are all uneducated hicks whose only skill is something you learn when you're a teenager. Can you really say someone who does that for a living really has a good reputation? I think the people who think that all truckers are like that are people who have no idea what they are talking about, Sandra. And my husband just moves furniture to and from people's houses, I will have you know. He isn't out driving some 18-wheeler or whatever image you have in your head. We have a friend who does do that, though, and he's a very nice guy. He is certainly no uneducated hick. Well, We all need to have stories to tell ourselves so that we can feel better about our own lives, don't we? Anyways, the decision is final. You can't come to our little get-together. Do you understand me? Everyone would just be upset if you did. After all, the wife of the hick truck driver is probably just a hick herself. So you don't need to bother showing up. You would just cause a scene and ruin the whole thing for everyone. I'm telling you that you don't know what you're talking about. Not about my husband and not about me. Is that what you've been telling the other moms about my family? That we are all just simple bumpkins or something? What's this? Are you really trying to accuse me of spreading rumors now? Honestly, that's quite low, even for someone like you. Well, have you been? I know that you like to think of yourself as being in charge of everyone else no matter where you go, even if nobody else thinks of you in that way. Oh, please. So now you're just showing how simple you really are. There are no bosses. We aren't living by the law of the jungle. But now that you mention it, I don't think that calling me the boss of all the other moms at least would be too far of a stretch. But of course, I don't really think of myself in that way. The fact is that the other women just treat me as such. Everyone is just so awed by my presence that they can't help but feel a certain sense of respect toward me. It's just human nature to identify and respect your betters, really. Wow. If that's what you think human nature is, then... Well, I don't even know what to say. But whatever. It doesn't matter. I get why someone like you wouldn't invite me to your little get-togethers. Well, as long as you understand, that's all that really matters. And just so you know, in the future, I will be telling the other moms not to tell you about any of our other plans without my explicit permission first. You know what, Sandra? You just do whatever you think is best, okay? Oh, trust me. I plan on it. Anyways, are we done here? Have you said what you wanted to say? I am a very busy woman. Yep, I guess so. Hey, Sandra. We have really got to talk. If you want to try to boss me around, that's fine. But did you try and make it so that the other kids at the preschool wouldn't play with my kids? Oh no! Did something happen to your kids? Well, I certainly wouldn't know anything about that. It's not like I went to the kids and told them not to hang out with yours. After all, they were all friends, weren't they? But it sounds like their parents might have mentioned something to them. I just want to know, at your little get-together you had with the other moms, did you spread any rumors about my children? What? Me? No! Why, I'd never do something like that. Honestly, Linda, I think your delusions about me have really gone far enough. You're not well. You should try talking to a therapist about your issues. I think it would really help. Thank you, but I was not coming to you for advice about my mental health. Tammy told me that some of the other kids were making fun of her by saying that her family were bums. And when she got home, she asked me what the word bums meant. What? Well, that doesn't sound like the kids that I know there. Are you really going so far as to blame the parents and the children for all of your problems now? Well, it doesn't stop there. I think that you have been spreading rumors and lies about me even outside of your little meetups. What kind of rumors might you be talking about? I'm sure I have no clue. Like telling people that my sister's cafe was poorly managed and about to close due to lack of business. And that's why she has to beg me to help her out for free. Honestly, have you really been saying these kinds of things? I can't think of another person I know who would come up with such cruel lies. Linda, if I'm telling the other moms anything, it's only the truth about you that I think they deserve to know. But I've never once lied to them. After all, your sister's cafe is having some business trouble, isn't it? You said so yourself. That business is usually quite slow. Remember? I did say that, but it doesn't mean that the cafe is about to close down due to bankruptcy. If you're going to keep this up, then I'm afraid I have some plans of my own for how to get back at you.
Oh, really? And just what might you be plotting, huh? Are you going to try and claim that I defamed your sister's store?
No, but I think it would be more than fair to accuse you of trying to hurt her business by spreading lies about it. Thankfully, your rumors haven't seemed to really affect business yet, though. And thankfully, the cafe is a ways away from the preschool anyways, so it's not like the other moms are regular customers there. You're very lucky that for now, no real harm seems to have been done.
Well then, what's the problem? You're just being dramatic and throwing a little hissy fit over nothing.
Can you really not see how this might make me and especially my children feel bad, though? Or do you just not care?
No. What I see is someone accusing me of spreading rumors when I've only been telling the truth. And that makes me feel bad. Sure, I may have said some things about you. But how do you know that the other moms aren't doing the same, huh?
They may be. But even if they were, I'm sure the source of most of what they would be saying was you, Sandra.
You can't do that. You can't just blame me for all of your problems or call me a mastermind of this plot against you that you have made up. Now I am of half a mind to sue you for defamation.
I know it's you because you're the only person I've told about my volunteering at my sister's cafe. The only person who could have spread rumors like that is you, since you were the only person who knows that I work there for free sometimes. Look, the bottom line is that I want you to keep my kids and my sister's cafe out of whatever rumors you wish to spread about me to the other moms. Do you understand?
Well, okay then. I can go and tell the moms what you've told me, and I think it should solve this whole issue of rumors. You won't have to worry about it anymore. Hey! I heard about what happened today at school. Tammy and some other kids got into a huge fight. Now all of the other moms are worried about letting their kids hang out with yours anymore.
Maybe you really are the boss the way that you always seem to get information so quickly.
I knew it! I knew that your daughter was just some dumb, violent hick like her parents. I will have to go and tell my own babies not to hang around her anymore.
I thought I told you to quit with that hick talk. It's so rude and completely unfounded.
Well, I'm afraid that if you were worried about Tammy being excluded before, that now it's all but guaranteed. Oh, I just feel so bad for all the parents and children forced to interact with your family just because your kids go to the same preschool as theirs.
What are you even talking about? It wasn't even that bad. Kids fight with each other all the time, and Tammy and the other boy made up, so it's fine. You're blowing this all out of proportion.
Well, still, it doesn't change the fact that everyone, even the parents, are scared of your little girl. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Well, how does it feel knowing that everyone hates you and your family now?
Everybody hates me? Are you sure about that? Because all the moms but you have come over to apologize.
What are you talking about? What kind of nonsense is that? What do they have to be sorry about?
They came to apologize for the way their kids have been behaving towards Tammy and Edward. Every single mom has come over to my house and apologized for what has happened. And they all admitted that the reason they told their kids not to hang out with mine was because you told them all not to. They told me everything.
All I told them was that if they let their kids hang out with those children of yours, they would all grow up to be truckers because of how you are raising them.
You really just don't give up, do you?
Well then, why are all the other moms there to apologize to you? It's probably because you threatened to hurt them or something, huh?
No, they came to apologize for being tricked by your nasty rumors. They all feel awful for what they've done.
What do you mean? You think that I've tricked them? I've done nothing of the sort. I was only telling the truth.
Come on now. We both know that's not true. You have been telling the other moms that my family is poor, uneducated hicks. And it's all lies. But they all know the truth now.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Well, my husband's delivery route changed recently and he began delivering to a different part of town. And that part of town just happened to be around the preschool. Of course, his driver's information was there on the truck with information about the company that he works for as well. The other moms took notice of this new van driving around and quickly put together that it was my husband who was driving it.
Okay, and so what? Get to the point.
Well, once, after dropping off some furniture at someone's house, the customer came out and wasn't able to lift the heavy box that had been left on their doorstep. My husband saw this and turned around to help the person bring it inside. And that house just happened to belong to Carol's aunt.
Carol's aunt? Okay, well, that sure sounds convenient, doesn't it? Your husband just happened to be there to do a good deed. I don't believe it. You're just making this story up.
I'm not. And there are many other stories that customers have of how helpful my husband has been. Even from other moms. They came to me saying that he wasn't at all the kind of man that they thought he would be.
Fine. So he's not some jerk hick. So what? It doesn't change the fact that it's a lousy job and that your family is still poor.
Look, Sandra, I really don't know where you got your information that all delivery drivers are poor. But honestly, I think it's just something that you made up in your head. If you compare what my husband makes to other people his age, it's fair to say he makes a comfortable living.
Oh yeah? Well, my family brings him $3,000 every month. And when you include annual bonuses, we make about $50,000 a year.
Wow. Well, I'm surprised.
Huh. I think you would be.
No, I mean, for how much big talk you always do, that's much less than I thought you would make.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, my husband makes about $5,000 a month and gets up to a little $80,000 annually. Plus, I enjoy playing the stock markets now and then. So really, our annual income actually sits somewhere around $100,000 a year.
What? Are you kidding me?
Did you really think that $50,000 a year was really enough to call yourself upper class? Where did you even come up with those numbers?
But there's no way that a delivery driver can make that much a year. I mean, my older brother is a trucker and he only makes about $25,000 a year.
Well, it really depends on the kind of truck you drive. Does he work weekends? Does he only work part-time? There are actually many different kinds of job within the freighting industry.
What? Does he work on the weekends? Who would do that?
Well, I was just giving examples. But does that mean that you were making all of your assumptions about us based on what your brother makes?
Okay, well then why do you always volunteer to work for your sister at her cafe, huh? Explain that.
Well, I told you about how she had to take her husband to the doctor, right? He's not doing well, so I'm just doing my best to help out because we're family. When she gets busy, she knows that she can rely on me. And for the last time, it's not a part-time job. I'm doing it to help her and I'm seldom ever paid. I told you all of this already. Don't you listen?
What? I don't get it. What's happening? Explain yourself. What kind of game is this?
There's no game and there's really nothing else left to explain. Do you really not understand what I just said? All the moms also came here to apologize about my sister's cafe. They said that they all kept away because of the awful rumors that you were spreading.
That had nothing to do with me. They all chose not to go on their own. I didn't force them to avoid the store.
I really don't think that you can explain it away like that. Several of the women here told me that they had planned to go and check it out until they heard what you had to say about it. You basically scared them off from going. Some of them even thought that it had already closed. So I guess you really are guilty of hurting my sister's business.
They all betrayed me. I can't believe this. How could they? I did all I could to keep them in line and under my thumb, and yet... What were they thinking?
You mean you tried to keep them in line by spreading rumors and saying hurtful things about others? Give me a break.
but I worked so hard on all of our get-togethers. I was chairwoman of the club. I let them all join for free and never once complained about all the work that I put in.
Really? Because a lot of them just felt like you were organizing events just so you could spread rumors about people you didn't like. Everyone saw right through what you were doing, but were afraid that if they didn't go along with what you wanted, that you would be spreading rumors about them next. But not one of them ever thought of you as some kind of fearless leader or selfless party thrower.
Those witches. They all took me and my hard work for granted.
I'm sorry, Sandra, but I really think that you have it backwards here. The only person taking others for granted is you. But nobody wants to do what you say anymore. And no one is going to go to any other get-togethers that you arrange.
No! They can't just cast me out like this. I've already got so much planned.
Well, okay then. You're welcome to keep those plans and see what happens then. But I seriously doubt that anyone is going to show up.
Fine. I see how it is. Then let's see. The next meeting is Friday. I'm going to tell the whole group chat that it's happening, and then you'll see.
You had a group chat? Wow, I never knew about anything like that.
Of course you didn't. I wasn't about to let some poor lady into it and spoil our fun by complaining about prices and such.
Well, now that you know that I'm not really poor, I suppose you can add me to the group, right? I will be waiting for my invitation. Though I imagine that you just use that group to spread more rumors, don't you?
You can ask all you want. I still won't let you in. It's very exclusive, and I wouldn't dream of letting you into my group chat for anything.
That's fine with me. I really wasn't interested anyways. But good luck with your rich person act. Hope that goes well for you.
Shut up! You don't know anything. I will text the group chat and then you'll see. You'll see the power I have. Then you'll have to eat your words and see who the real leader of the moms is.
Uh-huh. Sure. Well, good luck with that. Sandra! How's it going? How is the moms meetup going today? Did everyone show up?
No. I'm the only one here. Nobody else came. How could they do this to me? I can't believe that this is happening to me right now.
Well, you can't say that I didn't try to warn you.
You threatened them all out of coming, didn't you? How could you do this to me? I thought that we were friends.
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything like that. I really don't have that kind of time on my hands anyways. You think far too much of me. I'm not some conspiring mastermind working tirelessly to take you down.
Well then, why aren't they here? They should have been here hours ago. I don't get it. I had everything planned out and now the date is ruined.
I already told you a few days ago. Nobody is going to listen to what you tell them anymore. You don't have power over them anymore. You were so assured that you were the big boss here, spreading rumors about those that you didn't like, excluding people just because you thought they were poor. And this is where it got you.
What are you trying to say about me, huh? If you have something to say, then just spit it out and stop talking in circles.
I'm just trying to say that you're a terrible person and you deserve this. I mean, don't you remember Vicky? The woman you said was going to transfer her kid to a different preschool? You called her poor too and wasted no time in spreading the story about her husband's job. Sandra, I'm afraid that as long as you don't change your attitude in the way that you treat others, no one will want to be your friend ever again.
I didn't ask for your advice, Linda. So you can take that advice and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. And what would a hick like you know about making friends anyways, huh?
I've tried telling you over and over again that I'm not a hick, but I guess you just really won't listen. Anyways, I really hope that your actions don't affect how the other kids interact with yours. Either way, I really pity your son.
Don't talk about my son. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not that he doesn't have friends. It's that I only let him hang out with the best of the best.
Well, okay then. Hope all that works for him. It really seems to be going great so far. After that, Sandra calmed down a bit, but she kept trying to host more mommy meetups with the intention of trying to reclaim her position as leader of the pack. Needless to say, it did not go well for her. Eventually, she gave up and never hosted another one of her get-togethers. To fill the void, however, I offered to host some of the get-togethers at my sister's cafe. Soon, the whole town knew about how good the cakes and coffee there were. And before we knew it, the cafe was almost always busy with customers. It really was an unexpected bonus after all this drama. Next year, my daughter is going to graduate from her preschool and will be going to a different elementary school than Sandra's son. I'm sure that Sandra hopes that she will be able to retake her crown as leader of whatever mom's group there is at her son's new school. But given that none of the parents from the same preschool have any respect left for her, my only real concern is for her son. I hope her bad behavior doesn't affect his life and ability to make friends too much. Thank you for watching! If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.